and welcome to my in-depth video on the 75355 UCS X-wing Starfighter. In this video I'll be talking about the set and all the details as well as comparing it to the previous version. So this set was revealed today and will release on May 4th. You can see the box art. It's like a black background, and instead of the usual like fade, they have gone with like a star and clouds background, which is a throwback to the like 2001 box art, which kind of had the same idea. That's an interesting concept. The angle is also supposed to be the same, but it's slightly more tilted up, and I don't think that looks great. And honestly, like the angle, I kind of prefer this box art because it looks kind of nice in the black and white. All the set doesn't look great whenever you see it in color, but in black and white it doesn't look that bad. The back of the box, you can see a different angle of the set, as well as like a trench run scene and the dimensions of the set on the stand. On the stand it's 27 centimeters, 10.5 inches tall, but that's mainly because of how tilted up it is. But it is also 55 or 21.5 inches long, which is quite a reasonable size for a set of this price. And so the price of the set is £210, $240/euros, and for 1,949 pieces, it does seem a bit expensive, but it's quite a big set. So some people think it's worth it, some people won't. I don't really think it's worth it, but I'll talk about that a bit more later. The minifigures, it has Luke Skywalker, very nicely detailed, dual molded legs, arm printing, all the detail you'd expect. Really nice helmet, like torso printing, just really high quality minifigure, what you would want in a UCS set and what you get. And then R2-D2. I'm hoping that this is back print, but none of the images you can see, so it's a fairly standard R2-D2, albeit it does look pretty good. And onto the set itself. I'm going to start with the positives of the set, albeit relatively short list, and then start criticizing it, because it is an interesting set, to put it one way. But the top of the set looks really nice. They detailed, like the wings are really nicely detailed. They did that really nice. I like the way, better shown in different pictures, but you can see the four different, for the cannons, one of them's like striped with the grey and white, and the other one's solid, which is nice, accurate. And you can see like there's a gear bit in the middle of the back. That's, I'm pretty sure, how you like open the wings and close them. And then you can see that more detailed there. It is, yeah, it's really nicely detailed. They did that very well, albeit R2-D2 is quite out of scale there. You can also see from the cockpit piece that it's printed, which you would expect, but LEGO has sometimes not done that before. Inside the cockpit, you can see really nicely detailed, has a fancy seat, and then it has control panels, which is a really nice detail, except it looks like they're stickers, which is kind of disappointing and something LEGO probably could have done better. And you can see just R2-D2 looks really small whenever it just doesn't look great in that size. And then this angle of the set, closed wings look alright. The stand, you can see the stand, it's like a very different design from what we're used to seeing. You can see the plaque, and I don't really like the way Luke Skywalker looks out. It looks like such an add-on, like it's not integrated into the stand at all. And that is because they tried to duplicate this stand, albeit a very blurry image. You can kind of see the similar kind of design, and I don't think it works. I think the newer stands are better, and there's a reason LEGO has gone past this point, so going back to it doesn't seem to make any sense in my opinion. And then, different angle of the set. This is like it flying up, and they really seem to like the angle of it flying up. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think it looks great. It's probably not, in my opinion, the best way to display the set, but apparently according to LEGO it is. And then you can see the back of the set. Nicely detailed, albeit that like bottom section really looks like an Xbox controller, if you see where I mean. Nicely detailed, but you can see how wide the wings are. And if you compare this to, like, this is an X-wing, it doesn't look great. Like the angle, albeit the X-wing that's on top of it is like tilted further up. You can quite clearly see they're very wide, and compared to the previous version, it's about 5 degrees wider. And the previous version, in terms of angle, was much more accurate. It's like a 17 degrees angle-ish of the actual X-wing, whereas this is like 25. So I don't know why they did this. I don't know if it's to do with the mechanism. and that's why they're so wide. The thing that I like most about the set is the cannon's really nicely detailed, like the four things, the different like stripes for some of them, very well done. I don't really like the rest of the set, and I don't think it is a particularly good value. Especially the stand, like the stand, it's really tilted up. You can see it in this image, it looks fine. But from this angle, I don't understand why you display it like this. You're just seeing the underside of the set. Like there's detail on the underside of the wings, but I don't think that looks particularly good. And you can see the stand here more zoomed in and a bunch of the details. You can pause the video if you want to read them. But I don't understand why they went with such a steep angle. The top angle looks nicer, but you'd literally have to display it really low as shown in this to get this angle, and I don't understand why they went with this type of stand. But anyway, you can see comparing it to the 4 Plus set, this is the one that comes to mind whenever I look at it. The front's really tall, and like it just looks, in my opinion, this is like the nearest thing that immediately came to mind when I first saw this set. But comparing it to the previous UCS set, which was £170 or $200, with inflation, it is kind of pretty much the same price now. But this is a set that I quite liked. More, not as big like in the front, it's less wide and slightly less tall from the angle of it. And you can see the stands more straight on. I think this is a really nicely, like some areas are less detailed, but the complete model, in my opinion, looks better. It looks better put together, more like to scale together. The engines are smaller, and I think the set just looks a bit better. Whereas with this, the engines are massive. Like it just doesn't look great. It's just not a good set, in my opinion. One that LEGO has messed up on, and one that I would definitely not recommend buying compared to the previous version. In my opinion, was a better set, and just the closed wings look slightly better because the angle, I really don't like the way they did the angle. The closed wings does look alright. Like if you're going to display the set, this would be how I'd display it. But even though this is like top down angle, but you can see how like not flat the base is, and this wouldn't be the angle you'd actually get if you were displaying it. So it just doesn't look like a great set compared to the previous one, which I quite liked, albeit there's some less inaccuracies. Maybe not as, like, I can understand that LEGO tried to make the new one that much better, and I can see where they tried, but they just, overall, I don't think it's a better set. And for the price, very expensive, a set that I would not recommend buying unless you like this design. If you do, then sure, go ahead and buy it. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.